afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. All of our Scarlet Hawks athletics coverage is proudly presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Rail Trail Flatbread Company, a casual American dining experience specializing in an all-scratch-made kitchen, wood-fired flatbread, and 20 local craft micro beers on draft. Check them out today at their Main Street location right here in Milford. Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet here with you on the call as we launch a new year of Scarlet Hawks athletics as we settle in for the 2024-2025 school year. Our fall sports will once again feature boys and girls soccer, girls volleyball, and football, but today we get our season started with the varsity boys soccer team as the Scarlet Hawks welcome in a non-conference opponent in St. John's Prep. A new season about to get underway right here, and we're so happy to have the action covered for you here on Milford TV. This boys soccer team looking to hit the reset button after a tough year last year. One of the first tough seasons in quite a long time for this program that's been battling for Hockomock League dominance for the better part of the last decade, but a lot of roster turnover last season led to the team finishing in last place in the Kelly Rex Division standings, but again, looking to start fresh this season as we get underway here in first half action. Happy to have everyone on board for the live coverage. Once again, happy to bring you the coverage live locally on our Milford TV educational channel, as well as our Verizon High Definition channel. And you can stream us live anywhere, anytime over on our YouTube channel. We already have a good audience forming on the YouTube channel. So welcome into all of our live viewers, and absolutely picture-perfect weather here in Milford as we get this game started. Not a cloud in the sky, comfortable temperatures in the mid-70s, a light breeze that right now blows gently from left to right across the playing surface. Milford looking to attack from right to left as we settle in for first half action. Milford in the all-red home uniform look, St. John's in the road whites. Non-conference opponent here to get the season started on the home turf for the boys soccer team. Right now on the foot by number 2, Mike Gonzalez, a junior. About 8 players left this team to graduation in the spring, after a good chunk of the roster had to be replaced from the season before. So still some new faces looking to grow into their positions on this varsity roster under the direction, once again, of head coach Antonio Pinto. Mike De Silva, the assistant coach. Definitely a feeling of optimism amongst the program that this season will be a big improvement from last year's frustrating finish. Just felt like a season where Milford could never gain traction last year, and of course was not helped out by the fact that there was a lot of construction going on here at the field turf complex at this time of year last year that really upended, in particular, the soccer schedules. Milford ended up having to move to an alternate location for a handful of their games, had to flip-flop home games and road games. But this facility fully functional and ready for a complete fall sports season here in the fall of 2024. Better than ever, of course, with the newly finished track surface, along with this turf playing surface, which is just about a year old now, still in picture-perfect condition. Still opening minutes of play as Milford tries to work this ball in deep. That pass targeting Brian Rivero, a sophomore. Milford trying to keep control just outside of the box, now drifting towards the far sideline. Ball right now on the foot of Rodrigo Lorenzo, who we saw work some magic offensively for this team a season ago with a flair for the dramatic as well. This ball's going to come in from long range, and it shoots wide to the near side of the St. John's Prep goal. Goes out of play. Will be a goal kick coming up here for the starting keeper for this afternoon's game on the Eagles side. That is junior Matthew Droggets. And goal on the other side for Milford now as a sophomore is Robbie Capelli. Saw substantial playing time last year playing alongside Jackson Pfeiffer in keeper duties. Jackson graduating this past spring, and right now currently the only goalkeeper listed on our roster. Scarlet sends another goal kick out towards midfield. Nice header moves it along for the Eagles. This is the second season in a row that Milford has opened the season against St. John's Prep. Last year losing on the road to the Eagles 3-0. This ball shot in deep. Capelli comes out, makes himself big, able to make the stop, and then scoops up the rebound chance. Excellent play early on for Capelli. A little bit of a breakdown there defensively for Milford, but Capelli fearless as he streaked out, cut down the angle, made a good stop. 35-22 on the first half clock as we play on scoreless, settling into the very first action of the regular season for both of these teams. St. John's Prep continues to control here, working up the near sideline. Ball on the foot of number 24, Jonathan Kulalis. Flanked out towards the Milford bench area, out of play. And nothing but sunshine streaking down on this Milford field turf here as we settle in to first half action. Tim Coet and Patrick Garapi, Milford TV staff, bringing you the live coverage here this afternoon, the first of what will be a very busy coverage schedule for our fall sports on Milford TV. Happy to share some more details on our upcoming coverage with you as this game goes along. Toss in there for the Scarlet Hawks, a little more than 34.5 minutes still on the clock here in the first half. Ranging out towards midfield and moving the ball forward is Andre Mora, now in his senior season. Tossing now for the Eagles. Milford able to take over, looking for a good feed over to Brian Ribeiro, but stepping in front for St. John's Prep is one of the Eagles' captain, Samuel Sabella. Knocks that ball out of play. Milford with their first corner kick chance of the season. Keep it on the ground as this ball will get knocked in off target by Rodrigo Lorenzo. Took the corner kick, then got the pass back, but his shot towards net, not close. And now stepping in, Mike Gonzalez. He pushes this ball back towards the Milford attacking side, now drifting over to the far side of the field. And De Silva over there for Milford, but St. John's Prep settling it down momentarily, but now Milford with some good footwork, now a feed over towards the near sideline. It's gobbled up there once again by Ribeiro, trying to protect, gets bumped off the ball. Now the Eagles quickly move back towards center, but again, good speed for Rodrigo Lorenzo. We saw he has plenty of speed, as we got a chance to see him in game action last season take on a more prominent role with this team. We only had a chance to cover 2 regular season home games for the boys soccer program last year, as again, the schedule was really upended by the construction here at the turf field. We had a chance to cover the team's home opener and then senior night, as right now Milford has a player shaken up down on the field, but we expect to get you quite a bit more boys soccer coverage as we go along here in 2024. Right now, an injury timeout stops the clock with exactly 32 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. So again, as we just sort of hit the reset button on this boys soccer program, we look back to how things ended last year. Again, a season that Milford looks to quickly put in the rearview mirror. They finished 5-11-4 overall on the season last year. Scored a total of 26 goals, which was second fewest in the Kelly Rex division. Again, just strange circumstances for a boys soccer program that has been accustomed to having scoring leaders on this roster. A team that for 4 consecutive years took home division titles in the Hockomock League. That streak came to an end by a margin of just a mere 3 points in the 2022 season. But last year, a tough season from start to finish. A lot of new faces here on the varsity roster, but with a lot more continuity this season, the team looking for better results. And again, a lot of the word out from the lead up to the start of the season was things were certainly trending in a positive direction. But right now, in an injury timeout situation here, as Milford athletic trainer Ashley Desco continues to attend to the injured player out on the field. So we'll take a quick injury timeout here on the broadcast. Again, 32 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half, scoreless between Milford and St. John's Prep, as we bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Getting back to action here, it was Mateus Sezek, the junior, that was the injured player, and ultimately Milford had to bring the training cart out onto the field in order to help Mateus off an apparent leg injury. So we will certainly keep an eye on the sidelines to see how that progresses, but certainly an inauspicious start to this season opening game. You hate to see injuries at any stage of a season, but especially right here within the first 10 minutes of game number 1. So it looks to be the right leg, perhaps the right knee for Sezek that athletic trainer Ashley Desco is checking on right now on the sideline. So we'll keep an eye down there. In the meantime, action continues out on the field with just a little over 31 minutes to go in the first half, looking for our first goal of the season. St. John's Prep now will toss in deep on their attacking side. Long toss, but it is intercepted by Milford. Trying to work it out of the corner. This ball right to the edge of the playing surface. It's knocked out by the Eagles, and Milford with a quick toss in, and now the Lupa pass out towards the midfield. St. John's Prep able to step into it. Now bodies going down again. Clear back out as far as the midfield for Milford, again looking for Ryan Rivero. Play clogged up just onto the Milford attacking side before the ball gets swatted out of play and about to be tossed back in by Rodrigo Lorenzo. Knifed back out to the middle of the field, but taken over there by St. John's Prep junior Finn McCabe. And again, the ball will drift out of play along the far sidelines.
Hey, second ball!
Owen, just make sure you do it right on square.
Go ball one! Easy, don't commit! Mikey, don't commit!
A little less than 30 minutes to go now in the first half, as again we wait for the toss in on the far side of the field. Extended possession here for the Eagles. This one will make its way all the way into the hands of Robbie Capelli, who looks to move this ball with purpose. A very friendly bounce here for Milford, a little bit of a push as Milford enters the box. This ball will go out of play off of St. John's Prep. A nice job there by Gio Capelli to knock that ball out off of the Eagles defender. And so Milford will get their second corner kick opportunity of the half coming up here. Capelli to Capelli connection there with Robbie in net, and Gio looking to make some heavy contributions to the offense this season as a sophomore. Corner kick comes in very high, will spin the width of the field and go out of play. And so second corner kick of the half, not materializing into a legitimate scoring chance. So we play on scoreless, 28.5 minutes on the first half clock. Lorenzo trying to work his way up the far sideline, looking for a centering pass. Deflected out of play. And this time we'll get the corner kick over on the far side of the field. Milford kicking against the breeze here on this side of the field. You can see that flag going away from Lorenzo, keeps the kick low. And it's immediately picked up by Dragets in net for St. John's Prep. And a big move upfield, but the Eagles called for the offsides. Milford settling this ball, sending it back towards the midfield, trying to protect, but that ball goes out. A chance to toss back in for Nascimento. All the way back to the Eagles keeper. Couple of home games out of the chute for the Scarlet Hawks as they settle into this new season. They'll be home against a couple of Hockomock League opponents in their next two games. Be back out here on Thursday to host North Attleboro, and then next week they will take on Sharon, who is now officially a division opponent of Milford starting this season. We'll have more on that in a moment as Milford tries to connect deep in the box. Again, Ribeiro right in the middle of the action. And so far we have seen the sophomores very heavily integrated into this offensive scheme between Gio Capelli and also Brian Ribeiro. And another corner kick chance. Straight line in, the header deflects way out. St. John's the first to get there. Now up ahead, Milford with a bit of a desperation dive to keep that ball out of the box, and now spraying it out of play on the far side. And so just quickly to finish the point, we saw another realignment of the Hockomock League's Kelly Rex and Davenport divisions prior to the start of this sports season. And North Attleboro, who had been a Kelly Rex team for the last several seasons, has once again been moved down to the Davenport, with the Sharon Eagles moving up to the Kelly Rex. So definitely an interesting change across the sports landscape for this season, with those two teams flipping divisions. We will see the Sharon Eagles return to Hockomock League play for football this year after they had played an independent schedule for the last several years. Every couple of years, as they take a look at the enrollment numbers for the schools in the Hawk, it leaves open the possibility that we see teams changing divisions. We last saw it with the Mansfield Hornets moving down to the Davenport a couple of seasons ago. Now we see North Attleboro and Sharon changing division alliances. Meanwhile, 24 minutes remain in this first half action. Still looking for our first goal. No real prime scoring opportunities so far. We did see a good save, I should say, from Robbie Capelli in the early stages of the half. That's really the best chance either team has had to get on the board so far. Milford moving this ball a little too far out in front. And an easy opportunity for Dragons to collect that ball in. Milford gets it back. Very nice feed to find Mikey Morera. Can he stay with it? Ball ends up going across the goal line. It'll be a goal kick. Mikey now a sophomore. We got our first look at Mikey Morera as a varsity athlete in the spring of this year, as he got the call up for Coach Mainini's boys volleyball team in the later stages of the regular season and into their playoff run. We saw him as a serve specialist. Now, a chance to see what he brings to the table here for this varsity boys soccer team. Once again out of play across the goal line to the left of the Milford goal. It looks like we'll see our first corner kick chance of the day for St. John's Prep. Kualis lined up for it on the far side. A little over 22 minutes to go. And good vision for Capelli as he was able to pluck that ball down through a crowd. Now trying to move ahead towards, once again, his twin brother, Gio, just out of his reach. Capelli now keeps this ball on the ground, shoots it over towards the near side. And that goes out of play for another Milford goal kick. The head coach for the St. John's Prep Eagles is David Crowell. Appreciate the team at St. John's Prep for getting us their roster information prior to the game today. We're always so appreciative when we're able to get good communication with the opposition heading into our coverage. This ball just sneaks out, just past the St. John's Prep bench area. Headed out of play by the Scarlet Hawks. And this will take us down to the midway point in this first half action. Just over 20 minutes to go, as we continue to look for our first goal in our very first fall sports coverage of this 2024-2025 school year. An opportunity perhaps in the making here for Milford, but a good effort defensively for St. John's Prep. A one-on-one battle upfield. Samuel Sabella able to do just enough to prevent Capelli from getting a really good look, and that ball ended up in the hands of Dragons in net. Meanwhile, a whistle going against St. John's Prep up the field, leading to the free kick to be taken by Gianelli Chakeen. Ending up again in the hands of Matthew Dragons, who has kept things cool, calm, and collected over in front of the St. John's Prep net so far in this first half. Now Ribeiro working that near sideline. Lorenzo will cut back to the middle. And another whistle. And this time going against the Scarlet Hawks. Milford send this ball into Capelli. Caught him a little bit by surprise, but kept his footing long enough to get that ball cleared out of harm's way. And again, back around the center circle. And an aggressive move for Milford, trying to push that ball back on the attacking side, and we have another player slow to get up. But the clock's still running now, down under 18 minutes to play, and this time everyone looks to be okay. I believe that was Andre Mora. Ended up going as a whistle against the Eagles. Milford with the indirect kick, and now some contact whistled against Brian Ribeiro. Dragons with an easy kick to start this breakout for the Eagles. Milford trying to slow the progress, and then eventually it is Felipe Nascimento who sends that ball out of play. As always, we hope you'll bear with us for any pronunciation issues that we work out here in the early days of the season. Another ball pushed out of play. And a corner kick chance from the near corner for the Eagles. 16 and a half minutes on the clock. It's like Captain Matthew Foley who will take the kick. Went very light at the moment. Kick right to the near post is deflected and sent right back out of play. Right now, again, keeping an eye on the Milford sideline. Zizek off the cart, but looks to perhaps have some ice on that right leg as he sits in a chair just to the left of the Milford bench area. So right now, not looking likely that he will return to this game. He's hoping that the injury is not severe. Milford, meanwhile, looking to get themselves situated after the whistle against St. John's Prep. Blasting this kick upfield with 15 minutes to go in the first half, right at the feet of Ribeiro. He backs his way out. Milford trying to give themselves a little space. Excellent move. And then the ball eventually airmailed over everything and out of play pretty slick-looking play initially. Not sure if that was Morera over on the far side. Made a defender miss badly to create a little open space, but eventually the ball sent up over the St. John's Prep net and even over the nets at the edge of the playing surface. As Dragons will send the goal kick out, and we play on scoreless. These teams looking to feel each other out here in the first half. This ball into the grasp of Robbie Capelli. It will take its time. Again, Robbie Capelli really won the starting job in net last season. Saw the bulk of the playing time as a freshman. As this ball is sent in, deflected by St. John's Prep, almost right into a vulnerable area. Fortunately for the Eagles, Milford didn't have anybody home. Now the Hawks will just send a little dump in into the box that's easily handled by Dragons. Pushed forward now on the St. John's Prep side by Grant Magnuson. Contact down in the corner. I beg your pardon, that ball going out of play, so a toss in for the Eagles. That goes out of play. Will lead to the corner kick opportunity right now. It is Michael Hutchinson, a junior for St. John's Prep, who looks to set up for the free kick. So, the corner kick, I should say. Corner kicks now at 3 apiece in the half. And this one redirected, but wide to the near side. Dangerous. But fortunately, that one off target. We will play on scoreless. It's felt as though the momentum is starting to trend toward the Eagles as this first half has gone along. Coach Pinto active right at the 50-yard line as Milford sets up for another free kick opportunity. Less than 11 and a half minutes remaining here in the first. Kick driven to the edge of the box and then immediately cleared out by Hutchinson. Gathered back in by Milford, trying to loop this ball in with some touch, but that is going to be offsides. The ball ended up in the back of the net off the foot of Gio Capelli, but the offsides was whistled well before the shot attempt. Nice idea there for Milford, but just a hair too early on the release for Capelli. St. John's Prep, they play it back to the keeper, almost to their own detriment. Milford putting the pressure on here. Milford winning it back momentarily. Now it's St. John's trying to shoot it up the far sideline, but the ball goes out of play. Milford trying to play with purpose here as we get to the late stages of the half. Ball up for grabs, now handled across the center line by St. John's Prep. They'll move it along quickly in the direction of Wazkowski. Waskalewicz, number 22. Trying to that pronunciation again. Still jamming away as this ball comes in across the goal mouth and just wide to the near side as Capelli was sprawled out. And a slide in towards the far post for St. John's Prep to try to sneak that ball past Capelli as he was on the turf, and it went just wide. And what for a moment looked to surely be the first goal of this game, Milford gets a huge break. Neither team has really been able to sustain momentum. It felt like Milford was starting to build. But then St. John's Prep with a good move upfield and another outstanding scoring opportunity. 8.5 minutes to go now in the first half. Another whistle going against the Hawks. Some traffic along the far sideline, and now a soft play out from net into the junior Finn McCabe. Pushed along the far sideline and up ahead towards Michael Hutchinson now into the near corner, and Capelli will guide that ball out of play. Like he got a light shove in the back as he kept that ball away from the Eagles. And right now, Coach De Silva, that contact did not go unseen by the Milford assistant coach and continues to give the officials an earful. Not wanting to see that level of contact on the keeper inside the box. A goal kick here for Robbie Capelli as we quickly approach 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Milford trying to clear this ball out. Got a toss in now just a few paces onto their attacking side. Trying to carefully guide this ball towards Lorenzo. And now towards the near side and knocked out of play. Nascimento with a good play there. The ball ends up out. And a toss in for the Scarlet Hawks. Toss down the far sideline in the direction of Gio Capelli. Milford will have a chance to send it in again a bit further down the field. To the corner, Lorenzo sending that pass. And Milford is going to get a penalty shot here out of this play. Contact inside the box, and so here is the best opportunity for Milford in the game to get on the scoreboard. It will be the sophomore Gio Capelli. Less than 6 minutes to go to take the penalty shot, and he puts it in. No problem. And so it is the sophomore Gio Capelli who scores the first Milford goal of the season. And the Scarlet Hawks will take a 1-0 lead with 5:44 to go in the first half. So again, just as we said a few moments ago, both teams have had their fair share of momentum. Neither team has been able to dominate this half. It's just off of a couple of opportunities for St. John's Prep. Milford gets a good push up field, and then what I believe was ultimately a handball called inside the box resulted in the penalty shot. And Capelli able to put it in to give Milford a 1-0 lead with now less than 5 minutes to play in this first half action. Will we see a response here out of the Eagles in these closing minutes of the half? Meanwhile, Danny De Silva on the sidelines at the moment looks to be getting some bandaging done. And so perhaps some more injury issues rearing their heads here for the Scarlet Hawks. Danny, one of the best offensive players on this team a season ago. He's been reliable the last couple of seasons at the varsity level, but getting some pretty heavy bandaging on the right quad area. So we'll see if De Silva can get back into the action here, as Milford is already playing without Mateus Zizek, who was injured early in this half. And meanwhile, Milford with a giveaway. And the blast up and over the net and out of play for Waskalewicz. This ball deflected over towards the far sideline and out. And this should take us down to the 2-minute mark as St. John's Prep gets the toss in. Milford getting the clear. And now past the center line as this ball continues to make its way down the far sideline, and now we'll take a very high bounce out of play. The clock now frozen as we dip under the 2-minute mark. Milford looking to go back on the attack here in the closing minutes to try to add to their lead now. As again, the Gio Capelli penalty kick at the 5:44 mark has given Milford a 1-0 lead. Toss in here for the Hawks. Sent back in by Andre Mora. Now gets it back. And sends the pass down into the corner for Capelli in a one-on-one battle. Lifts this ball across the goal mouth and just a little bit too elevated as he had a teammate at that far post. Couldn't connect. Maybe about a minute or so to go in this first half, as now St. John's Prep pushes. Waskalewicz down into the corner again. He's had some of the better looking opportunities that the Eagles have had in this half. Milford letting this ball drift over towards the near sideline, where it will be tossed back in by the Eagles. Slick pass. Milford trying to take it away. Ball ends up out of play again. Marquinhos Martins in on that play for Milford. And now this ball again blasted out and takes a hop right to the edge of the bleachers. As that proves to be the final play of the first half. So just one goal and it came off the penalty shot for Gio Capelli. That gives Milford a 1-0 lead as we're halfway through our first boys soccer coverage of the season. So for those of you joining us on the live coverage, we'll step away here for the intermission. Right now, 7.5 minutes on the clock, so we'll be off for this brief intermission, and then we'll be back with second half coverage. Again, 1-0, Milford leading St. John's Prep in this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Welcome back to the Milford Turf, about to start the second half in this varsity boys soccer matchup between your Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting St. John's Prep Eagles. Milford with a 1-0 lead entering into the second half on the benefit of a Gio Capelli penalty kick in the late stages of the first half. That's our only scoring so far, as we continue on with our season debut of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, as that ball spins across the goal mouth, just out of the reach of Milford, looking to head that ball in to extend the lead. And of course, once again, we want to acknowledge our presenting sponsor for our sports coverage here on Milford TV, and that is the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. You can get in on Rail Trail's back to school special throughout the month of September. Every Monday through Thursday, all September long, you can receive $5 off when you order takeout on a school night with the promo code SCHOOL24. With with no spaces, School 24, to enjoy that $5 off takeout special all month long over at the Rail Trail Flatbread Company, with their location right here on Main Street in Milford. You can also check out their Hudson location as well. So happy to have Rail Trail with us as our presenting sponsor for this entire upcoming sports season. And we are still looking for additional sponsors who want to jump on. A lot of opportunity for brand recognition and also to show your support, not only for our Milford TV operations, but for high school athletics here in Milford. So if you are a local business here in the area, we have room for you to join in our sponsors for our sports coverage. You can learn more about our sponsorship opportunities on our website at milfordtv.net/sponsor-us. Also email me at news@milfordtv for more information as well. .37:51 now on the second half clock. Milford attacking from left to right across your screens here in second half action. Milford with a free kick chance here in the early stages. Right in front of the St. John's Prep net for the header for Brian Ribeiro, but this ball drifts out. And now the Eagles looking to counter. Fancy footwork here for Mora, and then sends that ball off the St. John's Prep coaching staff and out of play. Good news is we see Danny DeSilva back out on the field. As we mentioned, he was getting some bandaging late in the first half, and you can see it down that right quad. Meanwhile, just as we talk about Danny DeSilva, it's like he might have received a yellow card there. As he was just as confused as we were. Right now, down on the sideline. As Milford still looks to put the pressure on, setting up a good look here as that ball gets sent up over the net. Barrow with the chance. So it was completely out of the view of our cameras, as well as this ball drifts wide to the near side of the net. There was contact as Capelli came far out. A lot of things happening all at once here in the early portion of this game, the early portion of this half, I should say. St. John's Prep looking for some contact there, perhaps for a penalty shot of their own, but no whistle. Ultimately, that ball drifted just wide of the net. Michael Hutchinson with the chance there for the Eagles. So an active opening 5 minutes here for these two teams. Danny DeSilva remains on the sidelines after receiving that yellow card. Getting a few more fans trickling in here at the Milford turf as we get later on in the day. I'm sure a lot of folks getting out of work and coming over to take in this first home game of this fall sports season for Milford. Toss in for the Eagles. Milford looking to control in the corner. As eventually the ball goes out, it will be a goal kick for the Scarlet Hawks. At the next opportunity, we will start to share with you our coverage plans throughout the month of September for our Milford TV Sports, as we'll have plenty of opportunities to take in both the boys and girls soccer teams, as well as girls volleyball, and of course we'll have plenty of Scarlet Hawks football action for you as well. First home game for the soccer team, a little over a week away, will come on Friday the 13th. Again, we'll get you a full look at our September sports schedule at the next stoppage of play. In the meantime, 33 minutes and change to go in this second half. Milford with a slim 1-0 lead. And now a whistle comes in, much to the chagrin of the Milford fans. Ryan King ends up down on the turf, and so a free kick chance here for the Eagles. And a good spot on the field looks to be Jackson Quigley, senior midfielder, lining up to take the kick. Robbie Capelli poised in net. He's had a good game so far. This ball comes in low, it deflects. Perhaps another chance here for St. John's Prep. Milford ends up guiding it out of play. It will be a corner kick coming up here for the Eagles. Quigley kept that kick low, fired it right into that defensive line for Milford. Deflection almost created another chance for the Eagles. Instead now they take the corner. Good deflection, and that is in for the score. And it looked to be Finn McCabe who put that in on the header for the Eagles. Indeed, Finn McCabe, the junior. So with 32:04 to go, off the corner kick, St. John's Prep able to tie this game up at 1. And now we have an Eagles player down on the field, so the clock paused at 31:35 for the injury timeout. So Milford perhaps getting a little loss of focus there on the defensive side in that last sequence. They were able to defend the free kick chance, but then off the corner kick, just a good setup for the Eagles. And McCabe able to bury the chance off the header to tie this match up at 1. On the 4th corner kick chance of the game, the first in the second half for St. John's Prep. Roman Lashueo, the senior and a captain on the St. John's Prep team, the injured player, able to get back to his feet, walking off here along with trainer Ashley, who has had her hands full in this game today. A couple of Milford injuries now will give a helping hand for the injured Eagles player. As we continue now, all tied up at 1. And the ball knocked out of play, and looks like we'll have another corner kick, this time from the far side. And so we've talked about it a couple of times in this game so far. No side has been able to really sustain momentum. St. John's Prep right now with an opportunity to really wrestle momentum onto their side. Milford able to get to this corner kick to get the partial clear. And now the ball out of play. And it will go to Milford. 9.5 minutes into this second half. A little bit of a delay here to get things set up along the far sideline for another free kick chance on the St. John's Prep side, as again things continue to trend the Eagles' way. Milford gets this ball out of danger, but St. John's eventually able to settle it back down. St. John's Prep out of the Catholic League, where they play along with St. John's Catholic Memorial, BC High, Malden Catholic, and Zavarian Brothers. A lot of tough teams in that conference. St. John's Prep had a great year last year. Ended with a record of 14-1-2. They were the number 4 seed in the Division I state bracket. Advanced all the way to the round of 16 before they were ultimately eliminated by Ludlow High School in Western Mass. It's an upset for Ludlow, as they were the number 9 seed. .26 on the second half clock. We're tied at 1. Milford now with a free kick upcoming. This one deep, plucked down by the St. John's Prep keeper, Matthew Drogetz. Only blemish on his record so far this afternoon, allowing the penalty kick to be converted by Gio Capelli. Otherwise, he's had a very good game. And now Milford in all kinds of trouble. Capelli out too far, and he pays the price. And a celebration off in the corner of the field for Ryan King, the junior who was able to push that one past Capelli. We saw him get aggressive and come far out in the first half to make a good save, but this time lost his positioning. Led to an easy chance to be converted by King. And 2 goals now in a little more than 10 minutes for St. John's Prep, as they now take the lead in this game 2-1. 27:43 to go. So the Eagles right now with momentum squarely on their side. Whistle going against the Eagles here. Milford needing an energy boost. Good speed here as they look to break things out. Mora gets tackled in the circle with his arms outstretched, wondering where the whistle is. It eventually comes in late as Mora finally now gets up off the turf. And so it looks like in the end, Mora's lobbying pays off. As Milford will have the free kick just outside of midfield. This will come in on a bounce and is handled easily by Dragons. This will take us down to 26 minutes to play in the second half. 2 goals so far in this period for the visitors to turn a 1-0 Milford lead into a 2-1 Eagles lead. Now it's De Silva working hard. Meanwhile, Capelli down on the turf, continuing to fight. He looks for a whistle. And instead, the whistle will go against the Scarlet Hawks. You don't want to get caught continuing to look for whistles to go your way. On this play there for the Eagles leads to ball getting intercepted by the Scarlet Hawks, but Eagles win it back. Samuel Sabella moving it along the far sideline. That ball ends up out of play. Pushed along the far sideline. Milford able to keep it in. Some clutching and grabbing for both teams. Another Milford player down on the turf. One thing that you can really see visually for this Milford team right off the bat is they're really not going to win the size battle against a lot of other teams this season. It's to be a smaller team built on speed and finesse. Not going to outmuscle a lot of teams, and really the key for them is to use their quickness to their advantage. There by the most recent St. John's Prep goal scorer, Finn McCabe. And now a trip will lead to another free kick chance for the Eagles, as Coach Pinto looks on with some frustration on the sideline. Some shadows starting to creep their way out onto the playing surface as we get later into this game. All the way in on net, knocked away by Capelli, couldn't hang on to it, and then looked like Capelli gave an Eagles player a shove as that ball came loose towards the far post. No whistles, and now Milford with a head of steam upfield. Brief 2-on-2 as now defensive reinforcements arrive for St. John's Prep, and the ball ends up out of play along the far sideline. Substitutions will come in now for both sides. With a little more than 22 minutes remaining in the second half, Milford has fallen behind in this one. Eagles with the toss in. Milford able to get to it, trying to keep it in. A lot of contact along that far sideline, but ultimately the whistle will go against the Hawks, and players ushered away. More frustration peeking through here on the Milford side. Milford closes in here. Nice spin move for Ribeiro. Continues to twist and turn, now gives it up to Lorenzo. He feeds it up head. Capelli now with a little bit of space, tries a centering pass. Nobody home, all the way to the edge of the box now. Another opportunity, and this one blasted up over the net and out of play. Intriguing chances there in deep for Milford. That was Marcos da Silva, a freshman, who blasted that ball up and over the net and out of play. But the better look was for Capelli. Gave up the shot on net, trying to center that pass up. And so a good sequence for the Hawks, but it doesn't translate into the equalizer on the scoreboard. It continues to be a 2-1 lead for the St. John's Prep Eagles. And it looks like we have timeout taken on the field now with 21 minutes and 1 second to go in the second half. And so with the break in the action, we'll have an opportunity to share with you a official look at our September coverage schedule for our Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Getting it all started here today with this boys soccer action against St. John's Prep. This will be our only action this week. We'll be back with you for 2 games next week, as we will see our first girls volleyball action coming up on September 10th as the Milford girls host Stoughton. And then it is all eyes on our first home football coverage of the season on Friday, September 13th, as Milford will play host to an old Midwalk rival in Leominster High School with kickoff at 7 p.m. A little bit later on in the month, we'll have more soccer action for you. It's the girls soccer team with their first coverage on Milford TV on the 17th, taking on Attleboro. And then we'll have this boys soccer team in action taking on the Canton Bulldogs on September 19th. Before we wrap up that week with our second football action of the season as the Hawks host Wellesley on September 20th. We'll round out the month of September with girls volleyball against Mansfield on the 23rd. Girls soccer will take us through the month of September as they take on Mansfield on the 26th, and then they will host the Franklin Panthers on September 30th. So that is what we have coming up through the month of September, and of course all of those games are subject to change. We're hoping that we will enjoy a fall of very good weather here in Milford, but of course you never know with the outdoor sports, so hope to get all of that action in for you uninterrupted due to Mother Nature. And of course, again, we want to encourage you to check out all of our coverage live locally on our educational channel as well as our HD channel. And of course, you can live stream all of these games on our YouTube page, which you can find at youtube.com/MyMilfordTV, or you can just search MyMilfordTV on the YouTube app. And not only can you watch all of our coverage live on YouTube, but of course all of the games are available for streaming right after the fact. So if you missed the game live, just head over to YouTube. The full game will be right there for you immediately following the games. So back out of the timeout, goal kick for Dragons. So a little over 20 minutes remain in this home opener for the Scarlet Hawks. Was looking good early, but now trailing by a goal with a little over 20 minutes to go, looking to see what kind of adjustments this young team can make. Looks like the girls soccer team has not gotten their season started quite yet, as we've seen head coach Lou Colabello prowling around the sidelines, a couple of the girls players as well. Look forward to getting our coverage started of the girls soccer team a little bit later on this month. This ball booted in deep, more trouble brewing here. Unfortunately, that pass off target and drifts out of play. A goal kick here for Robbie Capelli. Coach Pinto continues to howl from the sidelines. Line drive kick from Capelli is met with the header for Finn McCabe. His goal giving St. John's Prep the lead. About 13 minutes into the second half. Drifting wide to the near side of the St. John's Prep net, not particularly close and out of play. We have not seen a return to the field for Mateo Cizek after he was injured right within about the first 5 minutes or so of the first half. Looked to be perhaps a right knee injury. Out of play, Lorenzo trying to buy the call for Milford, but the toss in will be for St. John's Prep. Again, this ball angled out of play off the header for the Scarlet Hawks. Time continuing to tick down. All taken over by Grant Magnuson for St. John's Prep. Now it's Lorenzo, nice easy pass. Up the wing, connects with Ribeiro. Quick centering pass, deflected. And good disciplined defensive play there for the Eagles. They've done a nice job of neutralizing the speed of this Milford offense. They've not allowed a lot of lopsided chances. John's Prep tries to strike from distance. That ball sneaking up over the net and out of play. Goal kick coming up here for the Scarlet Hawks with just about 16.5 minutes remaining in the second half. Header pushes this ball in the wrong direction for St. John's Prep. Perhaps a chance here for Milford. Sent in on net by Ribeiro, but it is smothered by Dragons. Milford trying to take advantage there. Brian Ribeiro in the right place at the right time. Quick release as he had a step on the defender, but good positioning for Dragons as he makes the save. Now Milford with a bit of a push for Gabe Santos. And another free kick coming up for the Eagles. James Minor lining up for the kick. Keeps it low. Deflected off of one of his teammates. Ends up coming in from the corner. And it's grabbed by Capelli. He'll move it on to Ribeiro. We'll push a deep kick out of the reach of Gio Capelli. And onto the foot of the keeper, Dragic, who will now pick it up. A few more seconds off the clock before releasing the kick back toward the center circle. It's quickly picked off by the Scarlet Hawks, but pass from Lorenzo not on target, and back into Dragic. Breeze picking up again a bit here at the field. Once again blowing from left to right. See the flags at all four corners. Fully outstretched. Good movement up the far wing this time for the Eagles. Ball goes out of play, and we'll get a corner kick chance. It's the third of the half. St. John's Prep scoring their first goal in the second half off of a corner kick chance. That was the goal for McCabe. So that was actually the first goal. It was the goal for Ryan King that gave the Eagles the lead. I believe I misspoke earlier saying it was McCabe that gave St. John's Prep the lead. This one comes in low, takes a hop right at the near post and drifts out. And Milford looking to quickly set up the goal kick for Capelli. Meanwhile, substitutions coming in for St. John's Prep. Another ball winds its way out of play. Deflected back out by St. John's Prep. The ball all the way over into the visitors' bleachers. Milford trying to get something started here. Not much offensive punch in the second half. They've allowed 2 unanswered goals. And now St. John's Prep looking to keep the pressure on. Milford eventually able to scramble to get that ball out. Nice work offensively, meanwhile, for St. John's Prep. A player that unfortunately not listed on the roster we received, number 13. We don't have a 13 listed. It'll be a toss in here for the Eagles. And deflected out. Break for Milford, and again Capelli will look to set up quickly for the goal kick with less than 11.5 remaining on the clock. Finding Danny De Silva. And now again the freshman Marcos De Silva trying to settle it, but St. John's Prep now on the move. And in deep, but nobody home. And on a play again, Capelli will track down this ball himself. This will take us down towards 10.5 minutes to play. Milford getting in and out of trouble there along the near sideline. And now the free kick. Pushed ahead by Lorenzo. Now shot straight up in the air. Eventually found by Finn McCabe. Now carefully guided back to the keeper for St. John's Prep. Now Mora takes it into the center circle and now is in some pain, looks to be clutching at his left knee as he remains down right in the middle of the center circle as play continues on the attacking side for Milford. This ball deflected up in the air, now jammed by Danny De Silva, and now cleared out as Andre Mora looks to have made a recovery. Now back in the play. And McCabe now dumps back in as Milford tries to see some sustained time on the attack here with just under 9 minutes left to play. Along the far sideline. Ends up out of play. Looks like it will be a St. John's Prep toss-in as Coach Crowell continues to cycle in personnel here to keep fresh legs on the field. Milford dumps this ball ahead. Dragons waiting for it. And again, continues to eat up as much clock as he can. Taking things down close to the 8-minute mark. Lorenzo. And he'll get whistled here. Too much contact for the senior. Again, James Minor on the free kick. McCabe, good positioning. Rebound opportunity for McCabe is blasted over the net and out of play. Milford now with a substitution. As we get later and later in this one, not a lot of time left for Milford to mount a comeback. Capelli releases the kick. It's knocked down by Joseph DeCesare for St. John's Prep and now moved along quickly to the edge of the box. Kept in play, circled around toward Mikey Moreira. And Milford just couldn't get anything on a shot attempt there. It looked like Marquinhos Martins, fresh off of entering the game, trying to take an off-balance whack at that ball as it came his way, but just couldn't get a solid shot off. Now the ball ends up out of play. Looks like we'll see a corner kick chance here for Milford. Indeed, Milford had 3 corner kick chances early in the first half. This is their first one since. And knocked it in towards the corner, but St. John's Prep with a well-positioned defender there to absorb it. And now looking to counter quickly. Good speed for the freshman Marcos De Silva. And now it's Lorenzo. And a trip. They'll call it against Lorenzo, who blares back at Finn McCabe. Kick here for Minor. Less than 5.5 minutes on the second half clock. As this one comes all the way in towards Capelli, who makes the sure-handed stop. Sends this ball a long ways up the far sideline. Milford controls. And then the pass just out of the reach of Mikey Moreira. So the score, the game clock on the scoreboard frozen here for the remainder of this one. So the final stretch. St. John's Prep still with a 2-1 lead. Milford working the near sideline. Pinto continues to be active as ever on the sidelines as this ball comes back towards the middle. Knocked away by Gabe Silva. Gabe Santos, excuse me. Tossed in here by Augustus Nugent. And now he gives way to Minor. Deflection off the Milford header leads to this ball in from the corner, and it's knocked in. And there is a dagger in the late stages of this one, scored by Jackson Quigley. Milford with a header that allowed that ball to drift deep in the corner. A great centering pass. No problem for Quigley to finish that off, but it was Matthew Foley, the senior captain, who was able to set it up with a great pass. So 3 unanswered goals now in the second half for St. John's Prep. And they look to have this game well in hand now with maybe about 3.5 or so minutes to go. Take a big push here for Milford without a lot of time. The only score in the game for Milford came on the penalty shot in the first half. Out towards center, settled down by Martins. Sent along to Lorenzo. Tries to get things started. Trying to get Gio Capelli free, but that ball did not reach him. Mike Gonzalez. He couldn't settle that ball down, and now up the near sideline comes Matthew Foley. Straight at that goal, which may very well have put this game out of reach. Potential chance forming here. Ribeiro, little stutter step, now loses control, tries to win it back. Now tries a little backwards pass to find Danny De Silva. The ball ends up out of play. De Silva can see not moving quite right. That heavy bandaging on the right quad. Coach Pinto right over on the sideline, just a few paces away from De Silva, who looks to toss this ball back in. We'll have a yellow card issued here on the St. John's Prep side, meanwhile. It's Ryan King, one of the Eagles goal scorers, who is in complete confusion for the call. Right now, the official going over to give clarification to Coach Crowell. And Coach Crowell now gesturing with some frustration. So we saw a yellow card issued to Danny De Silva earlier in the game. Now it's Ryan King. And continued conversation, which now looks to be wrapping up amicably with the St. John's Prep coaching staff. In the meantime, Milford has had an opportunity to get a bit of a timeout here. And Coach Pinto has been using every second, walking the sideline, getting things organized with his group for perhaps one final push. Milford down by 2, under 5 minutes to play. And the toss in now for Danny De Silva. Mora back to De Silva. And meanwhile, the whistle will end this push for the Scarlet Hawks. And there is your final whistle. So a fast final 5 minutes, as it turns out. Milford could not get anything to materialize there in the late stages. And so a frustrating one here in this 2024 home opener for the Scarlet Hawks. So they'll end up, Milford will find themselves on the losing side of this one here today by a final score of 3-1. So with the loss, Milford will start out this season at 0-1. St. John's Prep with the victory will start off the year at 1-0. But again, just scratching the surface of the sports action here on Milford TV this season. We'll be back with you next week for a couple of games. We'll have the girls volleyball team and the football team for you next week. So again, you can find all of our sports schedule information on our most recent edition of the Milford Informer. You can also find that information on our website at milfordtv.net and across all of our social media platforms as well, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on X as well. So stay close to all of our platforms as we continue forward in this fall sports season. But that will wrap things up for today. A big thank you to Patrick Garapi manning the camera up top for this game this afternoon, and I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, Milford falls to the St. John's Prep Eagles by a final score of 3-1. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.